Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020. It's Champions, and we are on episode number 48. Here we are, Tour de France, stage 17 of 21. We've got this big climbing stage with a number of hefty climbs, but overall it's nothing too severe. Dr. Strange sitting 7th overall. I don't necessarily want them the one. Why don't we get Black Widow? There you go. Why don't you pick up the pace making at the front? We want to start right away because we're already on this first climb. We don't want that breakaway to get a massive gap right off the bat. That would not be good. There you go. Some other teams now involved in chasing back some riders that they're not happy to see in the break. And it looks like otherwise we're going to need to up the effort, except for Black Widow.
There's now more than a minute between
Alright, let's see who's gone off the front so far.
Vingegaard,
Vingegaard, Moss, who sits in 8th place, really. I know you're 9.5 minutes down, but Yates in 10th. Ciccone 17th. Pogacar 19th. And not in any competition. That's surprising. That is very surprising. Okay, well, UAE not happy with that move, so they are focused on bringing that back. Let's make sure we're not too far off the back. In fact, we are quite close. Thor, up that effort a bit, please. Same with Spider-Man. And Captain America. Storm just slightly. The other four are fine. Just 8 riders off the front, so I'm happy actually with the makeup of that group. I don't need to pull it back, and we're not the ones pulling it back. Black Widow, though, what happens if we sit up? Pace just lifted further. And we've lost contact. Spider-Man and Thor. And on that 78 effort. Captain America just about to lose it as well. We upped that effort, and they still drifted back. It's a lot of riders already falling off the back. Just a few kilometers into this stage. Spider-Man and Thor, though, have regained contact. However, you can see another split on the verge. Doctor Strange as well. It's a pretty big climb to get up and over, though, so you got to be careful not to just push like crazy. Some of these riders off the back are never going to be seen from again, and if you attack this too hard and blow up before the top, you're done. So these two making their way through, but struggling. A lot of minuses today. Hulk does have a +2. They're supposed to have a +3 anyway, so the overall team draw seems to be roughly a -1 for the day. Those two made up a lot of ground. Technically still in the chase group. Now finally back into the group as we are just 3.5 kilometers from the top. At the front, chase is definitely not what it once was, but there's your front riders still. Gross-Schartner coming back. Ciccone slipping up. Yates, Pogacar, Moss pushing on, and Vingegaard. And that's fine. I'm totally fine with them pushing on because that's 2 top 10 contenders that are going to blow themselves up riding solo, and we eventually will focus on keeping that close. But Captain America, Thor, Spider-Man all struggling in this chase group. Now 2 chase groups. But they are close enough, 1K from the top, that at least these couple of groups that are right here should regain contact. Spider-Man, Thor, Captain America all might struggle a bit with that, though. We'll see. They're blowing up. They're blowing up just before the top. Set them to auto for now, and let's hope that they get back on. Same with Captain America. Okay, 140K to go. First climb out of the way. That was the hardest climb of the day. Right at the start, and there's just 41 riders left. Hulk got through there fine. Gamora got through there fine. Doctor Strange is returning to a position near the front, as is Storm. Storm now fine. Black Widow's hanging on towards the back of the group. Let's go ahead and protect. Doctor Strange up in a position. That's close enough. Storm, go ahead and protect. And let's reset this. 78. Okay, 42 chasing 2. I'm guessing that's Moss and Yates. No, it's Pogacar and Moss. So Yates back into the group. And that's 5 riders for me, which is not a great number. But then our other 3, not too far behind, but at the moment they're just recovering. Thinking about water, but I don't know. I think we can wait. Wow, look at that. The back end rider is still just hitting the top of the climb. That hurts. Ooh, and that Perez already in A7, so well off the back with a puncture. I mean, that could almost be broom wagon time for them. Okay, 2-minute gap to Captain America, 3-minute gap to Thor and Spider-Man. Not sure we're going to see them again today, but with such a small peloton, 5 riders is not the worst place to be. But let's see if we still have 5 after this climb, because that'll be a long distance before the next. And that's where we're more likely to have things coming back together a bit, as there just won't be as much firepower in the peloton. Okay, we're seeing an attack off the front. And Gills, not worried about him. Gaps behind are blowing up, so I don't think we're going to see those 3 anymore. Down to 33 riders. So we've already dropped quite a few more. 8K to go to the top of this one. It's 14.5K, 6.5%. One little kink in it was right there, and then we just continue on up. Relative same 6 to 8% kind of throughout this. Black Widow's struggling, but she's hanging in there. 2.5K to go. And the pace has lifted. Pace has lifted. We're out to 5 minutes to the front, and that means
there's a few riders jockeying for position at the front.
Alaphilippe and Barcelo are attacking with 1K to go, going for the KOM. This is good for... Oh, it's all back together. 64 riders now. Thor, Spider-Man heading towards the front. That's fine. Black Widow, why don't you're already on it. Take up the front. We've got riders back. We've got some coverage. We've got 600 meters to go. We can't let that front group get that far away that this thing just suddenly implodes. I've got my entire team, and we've got a long time before the next climb. So let's take control of this field. Captain America already on the task of getting water. Spider-Man, I don't want you dropping back intentionally. I want you to stay up here. There you go. We'll get some protection for Doctor Strange soon. We've got a decent amount of descending here, but this is definitely not your regular descent.
There's considerable daylight back to the peloton, and they don't seem to want to react. The pack is increasing its work rate.
Oh, this was a good addition. We had 30 riders, but I get 3 more coming back to support. I don't mind that. Do not mind that, but I don't want that growing any further. Okay, we now have Captain America. Effort up and sit on and actually take over that relay, and then Black Widow go to recovery. And let's see how we're looking. Hulk does not have protection right now, neither does Doctor Strange. So we'll get Thor protecting Hulk, and I think we're good with that. Spider-Man needs to recover.
Bardet's fallen.
Ooh, Bardet crashing. And we're down to 40 riders that split off 19. Nope, they regained contact. They regained contact. Alright, into the flat. And Captain America along with Cofidis doing the chasing right now. 4 riders off the front. It's already down to 4 minutes. Those 4 are Pogacar, Chakotay, Van Gils, and Barguil. Barguil's fairly high placed, isn't he? No, he's not. He's not. It's just in the KOM that he's high placed.
The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its
So none of those guys are a threat to GC. They can definitely take the stage and no problem Well, more importantly, I don't want riders that are off the back coming back. Poles, Grossschartner, Elisande, Fellini.
This downhill will allow the riders to recover
Moscon.
from their earlier efforts. The pack is
I don't want them back up here. And that means you got Moscon and Hanau and Luke Rowe, excuse me. You got quite a few of the Ineos Grenadiers that are absent from this front group. Hagita attacking,
really
not worried about that.
attack.
Alright, do we have a replacement for Captain America so he can recover? Let's go ahead and get on with that.
There's a sustained rhythm at the moment. Some riders definitely won't be able to
Move
keep
on to
up.
Thor.
A rider
57
has just thrown
in this
the
group.
towel.
6 off the front. Somebody just got dropped. Somebody got broom wagoned. More broom wagoning to come. We're now looking at
A
Captain
couple of
America's a
teams
bit
have set themselves up
fatigued.
as pacemakers for the pack. They obviously don't have anybody in the breakaway group.
Oh, let's hold on here for a second. Ineos, Garrett Thomas turning the screw. Let's turn that screw a bit less ourselves. We're about to catch the front riders. It's only 46 seconds and they're already blowing up. We want to stay put. Gamora sliding backwards. We don't want that happening. Captain America, just go ahead and protect Doctor Strange, who at an 83 is slipping to the back, and so is Gamora. Spider-Man out the back. Come on. 81 and you slide right out the back like that? It's just a little cat too. Port Hagita. Hagita's effort not panning out for him, and Port looks to be trying to protect Hagita. Captain America dropping out, but that's because he's got nothing left in the tank.
The Entente in the escape group is
Thor,
far from
same
cordial.
problem.
There are a couple of riders who want to go it alone.
Spider-Man trying to get back up there, but you can see, even with an 85 effort, going the wrong way, as are these guys at the very back of this group. Hulk hanging on, but nearly
The pack is
solo at the
increasing its
moment.
work rate. Some teams can't be happy with the breakaway.
Going to hit the top of this cat too. Let's hope we can keep these 4 in, and maybe Spider-Man recovering into position. Yes, there we go. Only just making it. Everybody at the back but our leader. We're onto the flat. See them recover their position here. And Captain America and Thor are quite close behind, but I'm not sure they're going to recover. They don't have the energy to do so at this point. And Spider-Man already to the front. Okay, 4 riders off the front.
pack is
2
taking its
minutes.
foot off the gas. The team leaders can't be too
Just like
worried
that,
about
it
the
opens
breakaway.
back up. So, Spider-Man, yes, continue on. Sprint point coming up, but nothing available there. We need water. Let's get Doctor Strange on with that task, as they are both fresh and no longer considered a major team contender in any way. We've already got a fallback in Gamora, so Doctor Strange being in 7th place. 2 climbs to go, but it's kind of one climb with just a lengthy, well, short descent.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
All right, now how are we looking? 2 minutes to Thor and Captain America, so I don't think they're coming back. And then we have to reassess this. Storm is protecting Gamora, Black Widow protect Hulk. Doctor Strange, you're on your own. Spider-Man, gel up. Continue that contribution part, but it's Ineos who's turning the screw. Here we go. One of the last decisive key moments of this tour already
Now the
happening.
guys up front
Thor,
are asking serious
it's blinking
questions
red,
of the
but
riders
they're
in the rear,
doing just
as more of
fine.
them are left
That's
in the wake.
Gamora also going backwards. Oops. 49 chasing 3. It's already down to a minute. We're climbing at quite the tempo at the moment. Gel. Gel. I have to go Doctor Strange here soon. 7K. Okay, gel for Doctor Strange. Still 49 riders, surprisingly, but now they're starting to fall off. 47, halfway up this climb. 6K to go. Spider-Man already out the back. Now, Storm, Black Widow out the back as well. And we're down to 41 riders. And we're seeing a move from 5th place overall, Almeida. That's not the one I need to respond to, especially with that level of fatigue that we have in these three. But who else is going with them there? Barcelo, not a threat. Champosin, not a threat. Now it's 32 chasing 4. Doctor Strange out of energy, starting to fade. 29 riders. Sepkus, not a threat. And here goes Bernal. That's the move to respond to. They're already going out the back. Gamora gonna have to lead us out. We need to start hard so that he doesn't open a gap.
It's an attack!
But it's okay if he goes a little bit solo here because we can chase it down somewhat and just burn his energy. Gamora is protecting 3rd place here, so we don't want her to blow up necessarily. And it's just 3 riders at the front, by the way. With us is Almeida. Everybody else has been dropped. Keep Hulk fresh for the final climb. Just keeping an eye on the gap. Right now it's up to 50 seconds. It is opening, but we're close to the top. I'd rather have 3. Now we've got 9. It's up to a minute, though. Hulk could be closing that gap down, but we have another climb here in just a moment. And I'd rather have support, and Hulk's going to be more fresh than Bernal for that final climb. And then we have a downhill to the finish, so we still have chances to pull this back. Okay, we will gel up fairly soon. 12K to the top of that next one, so we've still got some ground to cover. Minute 33, it's coming back at the moment, but Gamora, problem here is she's not going to recover much anyway.
It's a puncture! Falling behind! A team leader is falling behind!
Okay, have her lead it out for a little bit. We have 7K to go. Hulk's going to have recovered a bit, and the gel just kicked in. So now we can attack, and Gamora set to auto and try to stay in that group. So Hulk, where's that separation? Come on, where's that separation? Really? The only one dropped? Okay, we're down to 5. Down to 5. To Mulan, Almeida, Pogacar getting dropped, Landa getting dropped, Evenepoel, Van Gils, Yates, and Gamora out the back. Now it's 3 riders chasing 1, and now the gap is rather small. Now it's just 2. To Mulan with us. Almeida's been dropped. To Mulan's getting dropped. Now it's just us versus Bernal, and we've closed that gap right down, 13 seconds behind. He seems to open a gap on that corner. Not a fan of how the game handles that sometimes. I don't mind being just behind him here because he's having a ride completely on his own, and we're opening the gap behind us. There's Mulan, Evenepoel, Almeida, Yates, Pogacar, and Gils, and now back here, Doctor Strange and Gamora riding in that group. Descending, we have a 79. I think we could easily catch Bernal over the top as we have 1K to go.
We've got 15
And
kilometers
we've got
to
a
the
minute
finish line.
15 gap behind us. He's a 76 as a descender. He's already got that 85 mountain. It's just crazy. Heart rate's good. Let's see if we can get a little recovery and just watch that gap. Make sure he doesn't go ahead of us. He's pulled out no time, so we're drawing level so far and quickly recovering, so we can speed up here.
There are just 10 kilometers left.
All right, effort up, close that gap, close that gap, close that gap. 13 seconds. 9 seconds.
The finish line is
There's
getting
10 and
close.
6
The
on the
riders
line.
just passed the 5 kilometers road sign.
Slow it down. 5 seconds behind. 3 seconds behind. Oh, come on. Now it just opens to 9 on that corner. What the heck? Come on, game.
The finishing line is at the
1.8K.
bottom of the slope. It's the final moment of
I'm starting my sprint. 1K. 1K to go. He's a better sprinter than I am. He's going to get the stage, but we are just behind him. 4 seconds back.
We're waiting for the tail enders who continue to arrive.
Let's start their sprint. Way early. See what happens. Demulon finally crosses the line. 3 minutes down. Gamora, Doctor Strange, right at the edge of the top 10 on the stage. Cost him a little bit of time, but not a ton. Black Widow, 40th on the stage. We're in a good place. We did what we needed to do heading into tomorrow's time trial. Hulk gets close enough to get same time, so he only loses 4 seconds through the bonuses. Demulon loses 2 minutes. Almeida, 2.5. So huge gaps there. Gamora and Doctor Strange, though, did both lose a lot of time. So Hulk now a minute 22 ahead of Bernal, ahead of the 40K time trial tomorrow. Little punchy one, and then Mont Ventoux before we head into Paris. Gamora slips off the podium, unfortunately, but she's 40 seconds behind Demulon. He's still a strong time trialist, even though he's fairly old at this point, 78. Gamora, not a good time trialist, so she's probably going to go backwards, not forwards. Almeida, a little bit better. That's going to be tight. I would imagine we'll probably be down to 5th place with her. Doctor Strange slips to 8th as well, as Evenipol moves up the order, but we're looking at massive gaps. Honestly, even Demulon is way too far back, so it's just Hulk versus Bernal for the win, and it's still going to be tight. Bernal, 74 time trialist. With 40K, that's full time trial rating, so 74 on the time trial. Does climb extremely well. I think there is one climb on the upcoming time trial, I think, if I know the profile off the top of my head. But a 77 for Hulk will give them an advantage, and they should extend that lead a little bit. If we have, say, 2 minutes heading into Mont Ventoux, you like our chances. Heading into the time trial, time gaps have not been huge, especially if you climb relatively well and are okay in the time trial. So it's fairly close together, so we're not seeing large gaps. But I've also honed in that a 74 seems to be the way to go. A -2 for Doctor Strange today is not a good thing. However, his time trial is unaffected, still a 76. Does hurt his mountain rating, which drops it to a 78. Also hurts his resistance, but 78 is still pretty solid. So Doctor Strange should still be able to manage a fairly good time. Now, on the other hand, Gamora, who would generally be weak in this, 75 time trial today, 81 mountain, 85 resistance. Gamora could actually end up putting in a fairly good time. Now, 75 time trial still only so-so, but it's going to help. Anyway, a 74 is going to just about get you right to the finish line. Balanced, even. Hulk +3. That's an 81 time trial, 86 or at least 85 mountain. Same for the resistance at an 84, right on the edge. So Hulk, likewise, could be competing for the best time of the day. Right now, that honor goes to Casper Asgreen with a 52.09. Cerny, Garrett Thomas, top 3. We do have all but Spider-Man, who is the only weak time trialist of the bunch. The other 4 all in the top 13 right now. We'll see if these 3 can also be at least in the top 20. I would predict that they all will, especially with Gamora, who like Spider-Man would have been weaker, but with that +3 is looking fairly solid today. Okay, so first checkpoint, not far away for Doctor Strange. In fact, we're through at 45th, but a minute 23 behind. Not great. Not great at that point. Let's see where Gamora shows up as we enter the time check. Imagine she's actually going to be even further behind, 51st, minute 24. But I think I've tended to be a little behind there. We make up a lot of time on the climbs and being able to finish things off as other riders go out a little too hard. Well, Fan Art just went to the top of the time checks by 2 seconds. 19th, 44 seconds. So Hulk putting in a really solid time so far. Doctor Strange, you can see you get to that deficit here as you reach the top of the climb. But with the descent, you can recover. But a lot of people are running out right about here. 2:09 down for Doctor Strange. That's not good. But like I said, a lot of riders have been running out of energy. Rowan Dennis crushes the time. 51:12 now. Gamora on the climb. Hulk already going up, but that's where it really begins to rise. At the top, it's Gamora now, minute 55 behind. And Hulk coming towards the top. Doctor Strange, you can see just enough energy left there to push. Pushing for the line. In fact, let's go with 75. Just a little bit spare. 1K to go. Attack the line. And 26th, 2:31 down. How did they end up with such a poor time when everybody else has done significantly better? Doctor Strange has good stats and should have done better than that. I think we can push a 75 with Hulk from here towards the finish. Gamora, likewise, 1.4K. That's Demulon, who has passed her, so that's not a good time compared there. That's 2:12. What is going on? How has this course changed so drastically? I think we can really push. Hulk has a lot of energy left. 99. Full attack to the finish line. And there you go. Second place, 19 seconds behind Rowan Dennis. That is a very solid time. Demulon was 21. So second overall for Hulk. Another. That's so many second place finishes we've had here. Bernal put in a solid time. Wow, how did Bernal manage that? They've got to be a full fitness peak and objective and all of that happening, because there's no way that Bernal can put in that sort of time normally. So we actually don't gain but a few seconds on Bernal. Minute and a half behind. Demulon 7.5. Almeida now over 10 minutes down. And Gamora does slip to 5th place at 10:11. Almeida just seconds ahead of her. But we will be focusing on trying to secure the overall. So 5th place versus 4th place is really not a big deal. Gamora and Hulk leading the KOM. Ciccone is going to be going for it, though, I would assume, on that next one. And then Bernal also just a couple points back. So there's your 4 competitors for that one. That's going to do it for this episode, though. We've got a simple, punchy stage with 1 climb before the end that shouldn't affect things. And then we've got Mont Ventoux in stage 20 before we head down the Champs-Élysées in Paris. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.